Okay, now, is Philly, it feels like to me that Philly came to terms with this. Fewer throws for Jalen Hurts, and we're a better team. Does the film prove that it's more of a Saquon team and they're better off throwing less?
Oh, well, it's certainly Saquon and the O-line are really the defining features of their offense. The defense is a big factor because they never give up a lot of points, so they don't have to change their offensive identity. But I'll tell you one thing that I think is overlooked, and pretty much all four remaining teams are like this, and it's going to be interesting to see if the league moves in this direction overall. When these teams, and the Eagles are a prime example, when they get to the plus side of the field, meaning the 50 in, they are four down teams, Colin. So anytime it's fourth down with 4 or less yards to go, the Eagles will go for it, as will the Bills, as will the Chiefs, as will the Commanders. And you know what that does? It changes the way defenses have to play. Because how many times do we see defenses, if it's 3rd and 9 and they give up a 7-yard gain, they get all excited that they stopped them on 3rd down? Well, that doesn't matter against the Eagles. They're going to go for it, and they convert. So that totally changes the defensive dynamic of how you have to game plan in situational football. And it makes it far more difficult. And to me, that's a huge factor in the way the Eagles play.
Yeah. And the Eagles have been doing this now forever. So this is obviously a spot, a situation, an identity that they're incredibly comfortable with. They really actually set the tone of that with the whole analytic going for it on 4th down all the way back in 2017. So they were kind of really the trailblazers with all of that. But this constant back and forth, this question, is Philly better off relying on the run game? Hurts 41 pass attempts in the last 2 starts. These are games that they were leading, that they're winning, convincingly at times, that they're able to run the ball very, very successfully. I mean, they're going with the flow of the game. That's working for them. So why, why change that? And Greg Cosell keeps highlighting, and rightfully so, the defense really allows them to dictate, it really dictates what they want to do offensively. And so, yeah, why would you not rely on your strengths of your O-line and Saquon Barkley in the run game as a whole? And also, make no mistake about it, include Jalen Hurts in that run game as well. He's clearly an elite top runner in the NFL. He's technically rated higher than Lamar Jackson, according to PFF. So, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just that constant conversation about Jalen Hurts and throwing. And I've already unpacked this so many times, and that's why I'm really trying to avoid it altogether. But it just situationally makes sense, and from a game plan perspective, it makes sense that if you're going to have a monster dominant run game, that is going to be the foundation, because it's the best case scenario. You put up points, you minimize the risk of something bad happening, and you control the clock, and you minimize possessions for the other team. That is win. You do that, you're going to win. How many games have the Eagles won? 14 games, whatever the heck it was. You're gonna win, okay? That is the path forward. That is the path forward, especially these days when you're going up against awesome quarterbacks, awesome offenses. Again, whether it's Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels. When you control the time of possession, when you control the number of possessions that you have in general, yeah, it's a great place to be in. It's a great position of power. And when you have the team that can do that, that is what you are going to double, triple, quadruple down on. And it's not a surprise. It's just not a surprise. Not to mention, it's pretty fascinating. So once upon a time with the run game, you'd always really kind of think about this, where let's say you only average 3 yards per carry. And now it's first and 10, then it's first and 7, right? And you just keep going down 3. You would always get to 4th and 1. And I remember when I was real little, I used to be like, oh, why don't they just run the ball every time? If you just run the ball, and this was before I knew anything about defenses and stuff like that, I would just be like, all you do is just need a few yards. Why do people constantly try to push the ball down the field? Why do they try to do all this stuff? Just run the ball, get 3 yards, and if you got 3 yards every single time, you'd score a touchdown every single drive. Again, this is what went in my mind when I was a little kid. But it's actually kind of funny because we're actually seeing that logic now come full circle because you no longer are punting the ball on 4th down. So yeah, if it is 4th and 1, 4th and 3, it's still there. So that actually, the aggressiveness now of everyone going for it on 4th down actually really opens up the run game even more. Even more. I mean, now think about it. When people are all at first, they're at it's 1st and goal at the 5. Once upon a time, it was kind of like, oh, you want to run it a couple times maybe or this, that. Now it's kind of like, hey, man, let's just run the ball 4 straight times. We got to get at least 5 yards and 4 chances, no? Like, it just changes everything. And once upon a time, that's not how it was. And the Eagles fundamentally understand this. They understand this. And it's interesting because to a degree, the Chiefs understand this and the Bills understand this. And the Commanders go for it on 4th down a lot too, but they kind of go about it in a different way with kind of Jaden Daniels' game and just kind of the pieces that they have. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting to me. This is definitely going to be interesting to me because of so much of this game for the Philadelphia Eagles is really truly going to come down to, do they slow down Jaden Daniels, or does Jaden Daniels just have a special game, and can the offense play how they want to play? Or are they forced to kind of switch up their identity a bit? Because if they slow down Jaden Daniels and the offense can do what they want to do, it's game set match. It's game set match. They have all the power. They have all the ability. The way how the Eagles want to play, it almost feels like no one could be able to beat them. The way you beat the Eagles is by forcing them to play in a way that they don't want to play. That's what it gets boiled down to. Easier said than done. And the way you do that is by attacking their defense. And so that's why it's going to come down to, can Fangio slow down Jaden Daniels? If he does, then the offense gets to do exactly what it wants to do. They can rely on the run game. And there you go. They'll be running themselves into the Super Bowl. So it's actually really not more complicated than that, ironically. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles? And are they better off relying on their run game? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.